I'm Elwood, Woody Hughes. I was born and raised on a farm in Indiana. We had at that time, we had just gotten, on the farm, we had just gotten a rural electrification, it was called. And we just got electricity on the farm. So then we had a Zenith radio, and of course they broadcasting the news. And I came in to get a drink of water, and my folks said they just bombed Pearl Harbor. Well, who knew where Pearl Harbor was back then, see? And so, and little did I realize, I was 16 years of age at that time. So little did we realize that, in a few years, I really knew more about Pearl Harbor. And I was going to be drafted after high school in 1943, and I decided that I would enlist. I had a choice, Army, Navy, or Marine Corps, and I think they needed bodies back then. They didn't care. We needed Navy men, we needed Air Force men, we needed Army men, and then Marines. I was unaware of that they were amphibious assault troops more than at that time. Not that I was gung-ho about getting into a fight, but they were in the news, and we were being encouraged to get in the Marine Corps. I would like to mention at this point that it had to do, in fact, I still have the obituary. There were 3 boys very close in high school. Philip Kuntz went in the Army, Bob Brown went in the Navy, and I went in the Marine Corps. And we very close, 3 guys, 3 musketeers. Philip Kuntz got killed June 15th, 1944. And he was a close friend of mine and Bob's. And of course, at that time in 1944, I was on the island of Saipan. That was my first operation. So I have a history of, I can almost tell you from 1 month to the next where I was in 1943 to 1946 when I was discharged from the Marine Corps. What did I miss the most? I think, fresh vegetables, or eggs. We had powdered eggs, powdered milk. You see, farmers back during the Depression, we never had 50 cents in our pocket, but we had all the food we could eat, We didn't even know what starving was back in the 30s, late 20s and 30s, because we canned our own. We never had refrigerated. We canned everything, fruits, vegetables, meats. We even canned meat. You don't know how good meat is when it comes out of a can. And then when we got electricity, then we had all these big freezers, that you put this in and saved a lot of work. Your buddies were being blown to pieces, and you could see them right there, and parts flying everywhere. On Iwo Jima, I never was exposed to that. However, I did see many mutilated when I delivered messages to the front lines going up. I delivered messages to the code talkers, and when I was off duty, I kind of wandered around, and Graves Registration had not picked up some of our Marines, and I would see that Marine laying there, and it bothered me. Whether he had a leg off or an arm, or, he was mutilated in some way, that didn't, I only felt that the sight didn't bother me. The fact that he was dead there. And, and your mind, if I'd have followed a different path as far as being in communications or being an infantryman or a flamethrower man or a mortar was devastating. Japanese mortars were just killing all our kids. And of course, it would, like if a mortar dropped right here and exploded, it would cut us in two. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And it may cut you in two, not bother me, and I could see that, see?
Yeah.
That would be traumatic, I think. How long are you going to carry that in your mind? And how can you do your job if you're scared, you know? Well, I think some people do maybe freeze, but I think in the Marine Corps, that's probably true anyway. You are so concerned with doing the job that you kind of block out the fear that comes with the job. You know what I'm saying? It has to do with a lot of your people jumping into a swollen river, you know. They think, oh, that person needs to be helped. And so unless you are a person that's scared yourself, I mean, you'll be scared, but, you know, that person needs help. That's the way we were in the Marine Corps. Your comrade was something else. And wait, you know the Battle of Iwo Jima? There were 27 Medal of Honor winners on Iwo Jima. 5 of those was a result of a Marine throwing his body on a grenade to save anybody around him.
Wow.
5 of them.
Wow, that's something.
Yeah. I mean, now, would you do that? You don't know.
I don't know. No.
You don't know until you're put in that situation. We had a kid, he had shell shock on Iwo Jima. He couldn't take the artillery barrage or the mortar barrages, you know. Yeah, well, I think I was too dumb to realize the danger I was. You know, that's true, though. That's the reason they have 17, 18-year-olds fighting our wars all the time. 18-year-old kids. They do. Why does a kid get out here and drive 90 miles an hour on the highway? He doesn't realize the consequences of his actions if he survives. We had mail calls. You know, we have a mail clerk brings in a big bundle of mail, and he starts throwing the letters out. Say, he says, Johnson, over here. He says, and we have Johnsons and Jones and Jacobsons and Petersons and, you know, Peterson. And the guy says, which one? And the mail clerk would said, Robert G. And he'd throw it out there, and he'd go through, Jones, which one? Albert F. And he'd throw it out. And he says, Demetrikakis. Demetrikakis said, which one? You understand that?
Yeah, I do.
I hope you get the humor on that.
I do. Memory is a really kind of funny thing, isn't it? I mean, things like that.
Yeah.
It just sticks with you your entire life, huh?
Oh yeah.
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 For some people, they probably remember different things.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it seems like you kind of remember the fun and
the humorous things.
The humorous things. It almost seems like you.
Well, my whole family, we're serious, but not really serious, you know. And I think that makes a difference too. You know, some families are so serious, you know, they hardly laugh at anything.
Yeah,
Life is funny if you don't see the humor in it.